Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Engineering Masterminds. So in our last video we discussed the questions and answers from the part clay mineralogy. So today we have the topic effective stress on soil. So today we will be discussing some questions from the previous year question papers of GATE Civil with respect to the topic effective stress on soil, and this topic is very important with respect to GATE. So let's start today's discussion. So we have our first question. A 3 meter by 3 meter square precast reinforced concrete segments to be installed by pushing them through an existing railway embankment for making an underpass as shown in the figure. A reaction arrangement using precast PCC blocks placed on the ground is to be made for the jacks. At each stage, the jacks are required to apply a force of 1875 kN to push the segment. The jacks will react against the rigid steel plate placed against the reaction arrangement. The footprint area of reaction arrangement on the natural ground is 37.5 meter square. The unit weight of PCC block is 24 kN per meter cube. The properties of the natural ground are: C is given as 17 kilopascal, phi is 25 degree, and gamma is given as 18 kilonewton per meter cube. Assuming that the reaction arrangement has rough interface and has the same properties that of soil, the factor of safety round off to 1 decimal place against shear failure is what? So here we have to find the factor of safety. So first we will see the formula for the factor of safety against the shear failure, which is strength by applied load. So we know the strength we can find out from the equation C plus sigma tan phi into A. So from our question it is clearly given like what is C. C is given. Then now we have to find the sigma, that is the stress we have to find out, which is equal to N by A. So we are finding out by just substituting the values, which is 24 into 37.5 into 7.5 by 37.5. So 37.5 it is clearly given in the question as the footprint area of the reaction arrangement on the natural ground, and this 7.5 is given as that height, and yeah, so 24 is also given in the question as the unit weight of the block. So it's given as 24 into 37.5 into 7.5 divided by the area, which is 37.5. So factor of safety, we have to substitute the sigma value in the equation. So we are getting it as 2.0187. So it's not a multiple choice question, it's a numerical question. So the answer we are getting is 2.0187. Next question. A sand layer found at sea floor under 20 meter water depth is characterized with relative density 40%, maximum void ratio is given as 1, minimum void ratio is 0.5, and specific gravity of soil solids is 2.67. Assume the specific gravity of seawater to be 1.03 and the unit weight of fresh water to be 9.81. So this is a question which is common to the next two questions. So let's see what is the first question for that. So what would be the effective stress, which is rounded off to the nearest integer value of kPa, kilopascal, at 30 meter depth into the sand layer. So we need to find the effective stress. So before finding the effective stress, let's find out the void ratio, the natural void ratio from the equation for the relative density. So we know the relative density Is is given as E max minus E natural divided by E max minus E minimum into 100. So in the equation it is given what is E max, and E minimum is also given. So just substitute the values for these um, E max and E minimum, and relative density is also given. So we are getting the natural void ratio as 0.8. So next we have the equation for saturated unit weight, which is Gs plus E by 1 plus E into gamma W. It's not G plus E raised to gamma W, it's G plus E into gamma W by 1 plus E. So just substitute the value for E natural as 0.8 and for specific gravity G as 2.67, and gamma W is given in the question as 9.81. So the answer for gamma saturated or the saturated unit weight is 18.9115. Next we should find out submerged unit weight. Why we have to find out is we have to find the effective stress. So the effective stress formula is gamma dash into H. Gamma dash is the submerged unit weight. So what is the submerged unit weight? It is the gamma saturated, which is saturated unit weight minus the unit weight of water, which is gamma W. So gamma saturated we already got from the equation as 18.9115 minus gamma W, which is 9.81. So the answer we are getting is 9.1015. So just substitute this value in the equation for the effective stress, which is 9.1015 into H. H is given as 30. So we are getting the answer as 273.045. So our next question, what would be the change in the effective stress rounded off to the nearest integer value of kilopascal at 30 meter depth into the sand layer if the seawater level permanently rises by 2 meter? So we should be aware of these diagrams with respect to the total stress, neutral stress and the effective stress. And we know effective stress is independent of neutral stress. So there won't be any change in the effective stress even though neutral stress will increase because of change in the sea level. In the question it is given as there is an increase in the there is an increase in the sea level. So there will be a change in the neutral stress, but there won't be any change in the effective stress. So the answer will be 0 kilopascal, which is the option for that is B, option B. Okay, so our next question, this is also a statement it is given and following are two questions. So first we will read out the statement. The ground conditions at a site are shown in the figure below. So water table is at ground level and water content is 20%. Specific gravity of solids is given as 2.7. Unit weight of water is given as 10 kilonewton per meter cube. So the saturated unit weight of the sand we have to find out. What is options are 15, 18, 21, 24. So we all know the basic equation for that. So before that just find out the void ratio. The void ratio is G into W divided by S. From the basic equation, E into SR is equal to G into W. So we are getting void ratio as 0.54. Then just substitute for the in the equation for the gamma saturated, that is saturated unit weight, which is G plus E into gamma W divided by 1 plus E. So directly we are getting the saturated unit weight of the sand as 21.03 kilonewton per meter cube. So the answer will be option C. Next question. The total stress, pore water pressure and effective stress at the point P are respectively what? So this is from our previous statement only. So total stress at the point P. So how we have to find out? Which is equal to 21 into 5. We have got that unit weight. Correct. We have got the saturated unit weight, which is 21 into 5, the height, which is equal to 105 kilonewton per meter square. Next, what we have to find out is pore water pressure. Pore water pressure is equal to 5 into 10, where 10 is the unit weight of water. So 50 kilonewton per meter square. So we found out the total stress as well as the pore water pressure, which is 50. 5 into 10, which is equal to 50 kilonewton per meter square. So effective stress is what? Total stress minus pore water pressure, which is 105 minus 50, which is 55 kilonewton per meter square. So the answer will be 105, 50 and 55, which is option C. So the next question is a little lengthy question, but the solution is very simple. So let's see that. Assuming that a riverbed level does not change and the depth of water in river was 10 meter, 15 meters and 8 meters during the months of February, July and December respectively of a particular year. The average bulk density of the soil is 20 kilonewton per meter cube. The density of water is 10 kilonewton per meter cube. The effective stress at a depth of 10 meter below the river bed during these months would be what? So they have given four options, detailed options for each month. So we have to find out the effective stress at a depth of 10 meters, the effective stress at a depth of 10 meters below the river bed during these 3 months. So we know the concept as, since effective stress at any depth does not depend upon the variation of water level above the bed of river. Remember, effective stress at any depth does not depend upon the variation of water level above the bed of river. So we have the equation for the effective stress as total stress minus pore water pressure. So easily we can find out gamma H minus gamma W into H. So just remember this total stress, sigma is what? Gamma into, that is density into the height minus the unit weight of water into the height, which is equal to 20 into 10 minus 10 into 10, which is equal to 100 kilonewton per meter square. So it does not depend upon the variation of water level. It does not depend upon the variation of water level above the bed of the river. So in whatever the month is, even though the level changes, the effective stress remains the same. So in all the 3 months, which is February, July and December, it will be 100 kilonewton per meter square. I hope you are clear till now. So let's move on to our next question. A 10 meter thick clay layer is underlain by a sand layer of 20 meters depth. The water table is 5 meter below the surface of clay layer. See, the water table is 5 meter below the surface of clay layer. The soil above the water table is capillary saturated. The value of gamma saturated is given as 19 kilonewton per meter cube. The unit weight of water is gamma W. If now the water table rises to the surface, the effective stress at a point P on the interface will be what? If now the water table rises to the surface, the effective stress at a point P on the interface will be what? So from the diagram it is shown 10 meter, it is completely clay, below that it is sand for 20 meters. So case 1 is effective stress is sigma dash, we know, denote it as sigma or sigma dash, whatever it is equal to 5 gamma saturated plus 5 gamma dash, which is equal to 5 gamma saturated plus, we know gamma dash is gamma saturated minus gamma W. So it is 10 gamma saturated minus what? 5 gamma W. 10 gamma saturated minus 5 gamma W. Case 2 is sigma dash is equal to 10 gamma saturated minus 10 gamma W, which is equal to 10 gamma saturated minus 5 gamma W minus 5 gamma W. Hence the effective stress at a point P on the interface will be decreased by 5 gamma W. So in the question they have asked how us to find the difference coming in the effective stress. So when say effective stress at a point P on the interface will decrease by what? It will decrease by 5 gamma W. So the correct answer will be the option C, decrease by 5 gamma W, right? Yes. So our next question, this is also a little lengthy question. For the soil strata shown in the figure, the water table is lowered by drainage by 2 meters, and if the top 2 meters thick silty sand stratum remains saturated by capillary reaction even after lowering of water table, the increase in effective vertical pressure in kilopascal at mid height of clay layer will be what? So there is a zone of capillary saturation after drainage of 2 meters, then silty sand of 10 meters and clay of 7 meters. So the increase in effective stress at mid height of clay layer is just we have to find by multiplying the height versus the density of that particular portion. So just substitute and we are getting it as 20 kilopascal. So there is an alternate solution for this. What is that? We have to find the increase in the effective vertical pressure in kilopascal, right? Yes. So the alternate solution will be, according to the question, other conditions remaining the same. The condition of top 2 meter layer is changed. Change in effective pressure is equal to 9.81 by that, which is the unit weight of water into that particular layer height, which is 2. So the answer we are getting is 19.62 kilopascal, which is near to 20, and the correct option will be C, 20 kilopascal. Okay. Next question. A river 5 meter deep consists of a sand bed with saturated unit weight of 20 kilonewton per meter cube. I'll read the question once again. A river 5 meter deep consists of a sand bed with saturated unit weight of 20 kilonewton per meter cube. Okay. So gamma saturated is 20, gamma W is given as 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube. The effective vertical stress at 5 meter from the top of sandbed is what? So just draw the diagram, river which is 5 meter in depth and then the sandbed which is 5 meter in depth. So we are finding out sigma dash which is equal to, we know, the total stress minus pore water pressure, which is sigma total minus U. Total stress at point A is what? Which is 5 gamma W plus 5 gamma saturated, right? So gamma W we know 9.81, so just substitute for that, 5 into 9.81 plus 5 gamma saturated is 20, it's given, so 5 into 20, so 5 into 9.81 plus 5 into 20, so sigma total we are getting 149.05 kilonewton per meter square, and pore water pressure U is equal to 10 into gamma W at the point A, right? So 10, it's a whole height into gamma W. So gamma W is 9.81. So it will be 98.1 kilonewton per meter square. So just substitute these two values in the initial equation, which is sigma dash is equal to sigma total minus U. 149.05 minus 98.1, we are getting 50.95, which is near to 51 kilonewton per meter square. So the correct option is option B, 51 kilonewton per meter square. Option B, 51 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. So next I think we have a simple question. Yes, it's a true or false question. Effective stresses in a sand layer below a lake do not alter as the level fluctuates. So we have seen it earlier also. The answer is true, which means if water table is above ground level, if water table is above ground level, then any change in water level above the ground surface does not change the effective stress, as both total stress and pore water pressure changes equally. So there won't be any change in the effective stress. Why? Both total stress as well as pore water pressure changes equally. So we know effective stress equation. Effective stress is what? Total stress minus pore water pressure, right? Pore water pressure subtracted from the total stress. So this total stress and pore water pressure, which it will change equally when the water table is above ground level. So any change in water level above the ground surface does not change the effective stress. Why? Because total stress and pore water pressure, it changes equally. So only. So I think we have covered almost the questions from last 20 years papers, GATE papers, with respect to the topic effective stress on soil, and the explanations were also clear, I feel. So what you have to do is you have to just note down the correct formulas in your small notes and all, so that it will be easy for you to revise for your final exam. So guys, please support and kindly subscribe if you haven't subscribed. In the upcoming videos we will be having more videos on these specific topics from all the subjects for the GATE, and you can share with your friends also. Thanks a lot.